Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things Mecha. Jumpship incoming.
Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, episode 68. It's February, it's dead of winter, although it's not that snowy here.
Not only is it cold, it's a leap year.
It's not that snowy here. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it was pretty hot today.
We had snow yesterday, and then it's like all gone again.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was like a good almost foot of snow, and now it's gone.
So we're living through the horrible time that is winter in the northern hemisphere. But we're surviving.
I think it's just going to get, honestly, it's going to get...
We're thriving.
Like the seasons have shifted. So...
I always say we're going to end up being like the Mediterranean. It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to say in this? This is the Jumpship, I guess, but...
Yeah, well, happy Single Awareness Day, I guess.
I don't know what that means.
February 14th is Happy Single Awareness Day?
No, that's Warpath Kickstarter Day. Maybe we'll talk about that in the comments.
That's a tactic. That's a good tactic. Get those guys that are feeling down about Single Awareness Day and they want to spend some money.
Make them spend money, yep.
Good call.
Good one, Mantic, whoever's in charge there. Yeah. So we'll go right into the dropship and see what we're not working on, because I don't know if anybody's working on anything.
Yeah, it's been a slow, hard month. That's all I gotta say.
We'll be back to discuss nothing.
Dropship landing.
Hoo-hoo.
Welcome to the dropship, Mr. Hoo-hoo.
I thought we were pausing.
That was the pause. Crazy. We're in the dropship. This dropship is brought to you by John Bear Ross still. He's no longer doing his Patreon, but you do want to support him still. All his past projects are available on My Mini Factory. Just search for John Bear Ross. The link will be in the show notes. Yeah, thanks.
Past projects are still worth it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Still great stuff there, and hopefully he's doing well writing his books. Okay, let's what we're working on. Anybody? Somebody step up? Anybody? Anybody?
I'm gearing up for Adepticon by painting little item crates for Dead Zone.
That's all right. There's mechs in Dead Zone. That counts.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Next month is Adepticon, so if anybody comes, visit the Mantic booth or upstairs where all the events are, because that's where we'll be. All three of us will be there.
So. The events on. Me and Rob will be in the booths.
Yep.
And you guys be showing off a little game that was announced.
Yeah, we could say it. If you guys are looking to try out Halo, the miniature game, for the first time.
Yep, a new version of the Halo games.
Yeah, come to Adepticon.
This is going to be more of a skirmish version, not like the... who had it before? I forget who had Spartan Games? Someone like that had it.
Something like that. They had really tiny...
Really small, and it was all supposed to be mass battle, but I guess it wasn't great. But this is skirmish-based, more,
More video game-esque, you know?
You're playing Master Chief and a little crew fighting people kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
All the demoing will be at the Mantic booth, plus I'm sure there'll be other stuff there.
We're taking pre-orders for the game. The game will be released somewhere around August. Yeah, August, September.
Yeah. No Kickstarter for this one, just straight up. But there is a Kickstarter, which is the... well, I probably should all talk about this in the ComStar or anyways. But we have nothing to talk about in Dropship anyways. But
yeah. I mean, I've been busy with Adepticon and regular work, so I have not had any chance to do any kind of hobbying or reading for that matter. So, yeah, honestly, no excuse.
I've been busy watching.
Chastise me,
to blend our
flog me,
sections.
Yeah.
Hit me with the cat nine tails. I mean,
yeah, none of us have done anything. This dropship is a pretty sad sight. But do on your on our Facebook group, do post what you've been working on so you can shame us.
Yes. Especially if you got like neat model kits or something for the holidays.
Speaking of model kits, I did win an auction on eBay though.
But you haven't got it yet?
No, I haven't got it yet. I can't show it off, but I can tell you what it is. It's the Revell Robotech model kit. Which one did I get again?
Shadowhawk, wasn't it?
It was the Shadowhawk, but they called it something else.
Or is it the Griffin? Well, it's not Robotech. Oh, it was Robotech. Or not
It was
Robotech.
Robotech.
No, it's not Robotech. It's
It is Robotech.
Revell.
It's made by Revell, but
that's not Robotech mech though.
The people that brought you.
No,
the
I don't know.
USS Wisconsin.
Or is it
don't know
Battletech before Battletech?
Well, on the box it says Robotech.
Robotech or Battletech?
Robotech.
That doesn't make any sense.
From the people that brought you the 1967 Camaro. Model kit.
It's the 1984 Robotech Defenders Zoltech Revell by Revell. It's a 172
Yeah, it's
scale.
weird. That is literally a different company. Back then, the whole licensing thing was pretty cray.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they put this as Robotech. But when I was younger, I thought it was just something I didn't see.
Well,
They do make it. They do make an SDF 144 scale, also. They have this other one too called the Aqualo, which is supposed to be a Dugram kit, but they still call it Robotech.
I think that might be before Robotech, the TV show. They had this Robotech line of models, and I don't think it has anything to do with each other.
1984. It looks like the logo is Robotech.
It might have been the same company that released them. We know little about this. If you know anything about this line, please do comment below. But yeah, it's pretty fancy.
Yeah,
I think.
Let me. Oh, I was gonna try and see if I could send it to you to post it.
You did send it to me, but I couldn't find it. So who knows where you sent it to me? You send things in weird groups. Ah, I found it.
Oh, good. So then I don't have to send you this picture.
Of course, it's gone now because you've already bought it. So.
Way to go, Pat.
But they call it the Zoltech, and I don't know. It doesn't even look like a Battlemaster, and I don't know which one it is. It's not the Shadowhawk.
Zoltech. Yeah, it's funny. It's all Robotech. Yeah,
And it's the Robotech logo.
Yeah, they also did Robotech Changers, which were like where they actually transformed. But it's all different.
Knows
here it is.
What that's all about with the Revell model kit, which I think is defunct now.
There's what he bought right there. Yeah, Zoltech. Looks fun.
Yeah, they're very basic kits. I remember them being very basic kits. They're maybe like 2-3 screws of like.
Well, I got
10, 15 pieces.
The really early. What's it called?
It's not a Gundam kit by any means. That's for sure.
The Mosquito ones, the early ones, they were like. There's not even any posts to put them together. You're just gluing like panel to panel and stuff. Very early.
Oh yeah.
Before Gundam really
before we figured out
modified
panels
it.
Are really
Posts.
Pegs are really.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, there is a ton of these models out there.
Yeah,
on eBay for some reason.
There's one less now that Pat has been.
Yeah.
The problem.
Now he's gonna start collecting them all. You're not gonna put it together, right? You're just gonna keep it in a box.
No, I bought that one that I won because it was open and I didn't need to save it. It wasn't worth trying to collect.
So you might actually build it.
I am going to build it. Amongst the other 98 models that are sitting downstairs.
I'm curious, what was the scale on it?
172.
Yeah, so that's the same as Gundams, I think, pretty much.
Because what are the Gundams? 1/100 and one. What's the master grades?
One, but they're different scale, anyways. But I think I have a Valkyrie or whatever you want to call them. And I think that scale, so it should be about the same size as him.
Yeah. The STF-1 looks like a very basic kit, too. It's not a very
I'm sure, kit. Yeah. I'm sure, imagine getting a master grade or something of the STF-1. That'd be awesome. As you can tell, we're really trying to fill this segment out with anything to talk about, but...
anything.
I will say, if anyone gets the underwater one that's supposed to... It literally says Dugram on it. Not in the box, but in the description. It looks like one of those World War II scuba diving guys with the brass helmet.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't even know where that comes to play in Robotech.
Well, it's probably, once again,
or Battletech for that matter. It's
no, I'm sure it's like
it looks like something out of Sequest.
I think Harmony Gold licensed all this stuff from all these different companies and just called it all Robotech. So
that's funny.
It's right. Robotechnology, man. You can find it anywhere.
That's actually probably right on the head.
That makes sense. Why? Yeah.
Put Robotech on that. What is that? It's a robot. Robotech.
And it's Revell is an American company too, right? So
yeah,
I think Right.
I think it is.
Or
is it
Western, at
British?
least. Yeah, it might be British or French or something, but it's Western. It's not Japanese anyway, so it's not like Bandai or someone. Well, when you get it, you'll have to show it off to us and
Yes.
discuss
It's a
it
nice
more.
box.
Anybody else have anything hobby-related other than that? I don't think so. So we'll go on to the ComStar,
Well,
which we have a little bit more to talk about.
I was actually wrong. Revell is still in business.
Oh, yeah.
I think they make jets and stuff. I've always seen them.
Yeah, jets and cars and
Yeah,
But it
you always see
works.
them at Walmart over here.
And it's a German company.
Hobby Lobby.
German makes sense. I knew it was Western, anyways.
Yeah,
Okay.
they merged with Monogram and then dissolved and then merged with another company. I forget what it's called now.
Now we have a whole history of Revell. It's not a very German name,
If you're old, you've had a million of these Revell model kits.
for sure.
Cars, planes, and automobiles.
And mechs,
Planes?
Ships.
ships, yeah. Okay, we're going to ComStar. We'll have a bit more to talk about. Bye.
Bye!
Message from ComStar.
Welcome to ComStar. Yes, we're going to talk about some other stuff here.
The full history of
Yeah.
Revell.
Well, we're going to more modeling companies, but if you haven't listened to it yet, we did do a podcast last mid-month that about from Redline about their Payday Kickstarter coming out soon in March. So check that out. We had a whole episode talking to Cameron there. It was fun. It's always good to catch up.
I'm a good guy. And it's a great card game, too. If you are looking for a mech card game, it's one of the ones to get.
Yeah, well, it's
we
the only
will
one
have
to
to
get.
play
now.
it at Adepticon this time.
Yeah, for sure. We should get
Yes,
some
for sure.
games in. Yeah, and he taunted us with his warm Arizona weather at the time. We were freezing to death. So
Yeah, that's when it was negative degrees.
yeah, it was like minus 40. It was terrible. Yeah. Other than that, the other piece of news that I had was that from FASA actually, there's new Interceptor stuff coming out.
I still haven't got mine.
You got 2 box sets.
No, I got they kickstarted the next set of
Oh,
ships.
yeah, they said that's coming out soon. It's shipping
Yeah,
soon.
in lieu of the release of Leviathan, which is capital ships.
Yes, this is
In lieu of what in lieu of means
instead of.
Yeah.
You're saying
So I'm not
before pre
yeah.
Hitherto,
hitherto.
Hitherto is a good one.
therefore,
There's a campaign supplement, which is cool, and more factions. There's Terran Commonwealth, Castellonian Empire, Babylonian Union, and Free Trade Directorate, and Allied.
I don't remember which ones we played. Which two I have?
I think Terran seems familiar. The blue and the red. Is that the ones you have, or those?
Yes, because
yeah,
I
think
played
so.
the blue ones, and
Yeah.
those pilots are nuts. Those guys do
Well,
crazy crap.
That was you, I think. But so there's more stuff coming out from the Interceptor, which is a really fun game. We had a lot of fun playing it, so check it out. Almost mech related. It was FASA, so that
Especially
counts.
if you're a fan of the old Interceptor from FASA, this is a very nice addition.
Yeah, it's a totally different game, but it's got the same feel, and I love the way they do ship combat, which is with inertia and everything, and they don't make it too complicated, which is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's neat.
especially when you black out, flame out, and lose control.
well, you did all those in one turn. So I also got the Robotech Homefront RPG expansion. Finally came out. This is Pat's copy. This is his book because mine is the other version, but it came with. I'm gonna ruin his book. Nice pictures. It's the Masters kind of expansion for Robotech RPG.
Nice.
It also came with a module kind of. So
All we need now is the Invid, and we're done.
yeah, I hope. Well, hopefully the next one doesn't take this long to do. But I don't know if I'm sure COVID had something to do with how long it took. But even if it was after, I can't remember when it actually went, but it's been a couple years at least. But a lot of people gave up on it because everybody thinks that all Robotech Kickstarters are cursed. Because I believe the other one from who's the miniature company from Hong Kong that did that new Macross / Robotech game.
Oh,
I don't think that's shipped yet.
something kids, right?
Yeah, Kids Logic.
Kids Logic.
Yeah, so that hasn't shipped yet. So I wonder if that's another curse.
Mm.
If people got burned again on a Robotech miniatures game, I'd be like, oh my god.
Oh, can you imagine after that fiasco from the last Robotech?
Yeah, Palladium last time, and now this one.
You know, I still got that box. I got that box for $25.
Oh, I have a bunch of them. It is terrible to put those miniatures together.
Yeah, but I didn't even read the rules. I mean, we should even maybe one of these days sit down and try and play it.
I don't think it was a bad game. The problem was just a lot of it didn't get shipped. So
It's true.
and a lot of people got screwed. And then people like me got it up real cheap because they sent it out to stores instead of sending it to their backers. And then
no one was going to buy it.
And nobody bought it, so then it went on real cheap. So we got it.
Yeah,
now
well,
it's hard to find.
It was $100 box, and they were like $20. That one box was being sold for $20 at your store, right? Wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you eventually buy it?
I did not, but I think someone did.
I was close to buying it, but I was thinking, what the hell do I need 2 sets of these models? I'm not putting together these.
They're
I put together a frame, and I was like, ooh, I think I'm done with these models.
Yeah, especially the Valkyries, man, they were tough. They were so small. But anyways, yeah. But hopefully this Kid Logic one actually ships. And Strange Machine Games, they're a lot more. We always see them at the Gen Con and stuff. They've been around. It's just for this, I think it was more of like book printing, a lot harder to get done, and a lot of that kind of stuff. I think they were waiting for a long time on artists to getting their art in, so that might have been an issue too. So, but it came, so I'm happy. And I got a bunch of pins with it. All the pins they sell at Pat's got a bunch of them that he's bought at the cons. I got a bunch of them from the Kickstarter. So that's cool.
Did you get 2 or just 1 set?
I got 4 different ones. I got. I probably can. It's on our Facebook, anyways. I posted.
I don't think I need any more pins though, because those pins I got before, those other Robotech ones, they made that bag flap weigh about 75 pounds.
Oh, they're huge and it's super heavy now. But Matt Click from what companies do you work for? He did Mecha Hack. Anyways, he when I posted it, he's like, "Well, now you need Gundam ones." I'm like, "Damn it! Now I need Gundam ones because I have no Gundam." So now I got to find some Gundam.
That's true.
Pins.
I don't think I have a Gundam one either.
He actually just posted an update for the was it Aether Nexus?
Yep.
Kickstarter project, the new beta update.
Yeah, it's available now too. Yeah.
Today, I think.
Yep.
And then another bit of news that's Mecha related is the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom film just came out on the 26th of January. And so far, it seems like it's been pretty well received.
That only came out in Japan. Is that right?
I think so.
Has anyone got a bootleg copy? Post a link in the.
I think I don't know if it was just trailers, but the Gundam Planet or whatever does that YouTube channel. They post like official stuff. Posts. They did all the Witch from Mercury eventually and all that on their channel. I saw some of that on there. It might have been just trailers, but it was on there. So maybe they'll eventually put the movie on there, which is nice.
Anime News Network did a review of it. I think it might be up on might be on Crunchy or something. I think they were doing some theatrical releases stateside for it, but I'm not entirely sure.
And then I know Gurren Lagann came back to theaters too recently too.
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
that was blowing up my Twitter actually. They had, I think they did an English dub for the movies, which hadn't happened yet. So I think they got most, if not all, of the original cast from the show, and they finally did a dub for the movies.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Oh, I would love to watch dubbed.
Well, you could watch it in theater.
The dub was excellent.
I think the theater run was already over. It was earlier this month, but
Well, I mean, I'm sure it'll come on the video somewhere, or it'll
or
stream
a
somewhere.
super expensive Blu-ray because it's Aniplex.
We'll have to go down to Mitsuya during Adepticon and look and see if it's there.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff.
I mean, we'll be driving right by it.
It's like Brian, did you ever go to it?
I took Brian and Rick.
I was there with you, and you were like, "Dear God, look at all this."
Some some Karna Kyokai stuff.
Yeah, you found some obscure DVDs.
Some really obsure stuff.
I remember that now. Yep. Yeah, it's an awesome place and good food. It's pretty much a Japanese superstore. Like it's like going to IKEA, but it's all Japanese stuff.
Yeah,
with a nice food court. But it's fun times. Other than that, I don't think I've done anything else for TVs, movies, books. Still reading all the Battletech books, but
there's that. I guess it's been out a while, and I just stumbled upon it. Phantom Brigade.
Oh yeah, that
Apparently
game. Yeah.
It's got some new updates, and it's supposed to make it better. If anyone's played it, have you seen this game at all, Brian? Phantom Brigade.
I don't think so.
It's a turn-based mech game, but it allows a lot of mech customization for your squad.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm very, very curious. If anyone's played this, please leave a comment and let us know if it's worth it. I'm probably going to pick it up because I'm a sucker.
Yeah, we have to see what the price point is, but
well, I don't. I'm a sucker.
Pat's just like, check it.
I will say that the article I did read says it makes a fantastic mech game even better. So I'm very curious to see what's more about this, and I'm very curious about this mech customization.
It seems very similar to Battletech from what the pictures look like, where you can just switch out weapons.
Yeah, but if you look down to the next thing, it actually, well, yeah, in that sense, I suppose. But yeah, so if anyone's played Phantom Brigade, let us know how you like it, how you don't like it. I'd be very curious to see what people's opinions are and how the gameplay is. So
yeah, it looks fun. Like I'm showing the trailer right now, and looks like some cool environments that you're fighting through, like actual towns, and it's got some Gundam feel.
And the graphics looks pretty good too. So I mean, it
looks fun.
They look, I guess, Battletech. Everything looked a little bit smaller, and then this looks a little bit bigger. So you're looking more at the mechs and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks fun. Well, we'll definitely check it out. So, yeah, if you've played it, let us know, because we want to know. Anything else we want to talk about? Yeah.
No, we got...
Brian, have you been watching anything or anything?
Not really. It's just been busy.
It's the doldrums of winter right now. We're all just kind of...
he also started a new job, though, so, right?
Yeah, between like new job and had a whole bunch of there's a lot of sports going on. Like the Lions just recently got knocked out, but they were we were hoping that they were going to make their way to the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of like every weekend kind of family gatherings kind of thing. Yeah. So just been kind of busy, but I think hopefully I don't have as much stuff to prepare for Adepticon.
Yeah, it's not. I remember last year talking about it. You were just printing buildings like it was going out of style.
Printing buildings and painting them up. I think we should be good. I'm just printing item crates and getting those painted up because I think they'll be a nice little splash for the game.
Items. You don't need to play with items.
Some people want them, but yeah. So otherwise, nothing else really going on.
Okay, well, I guess we'll jump on to the MechBay Hanger. We have a lot to talk about. We have a review. It's a review segment for this MechBay Hanger, so join us in a few seconds. We'll be right there.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
Welcome to the MechBay Hanger. This one's a special review segment.
Yeah. We're review the history of the internet.
No reviewing history of the internet. We were provided some what do you call them? Review samples.
Sampler.
Yeah.
Review material.
From Salvage Union.
From Leyline Press.
Yep.
By Alid Lawler and I can't even pronounce that guy's name. Sorry, buddy. Mr. Lines. Sorry, Mr. Lines. I'm going to give it a shot, and if I do it wrong, please don't hate me.
Yes, feel free to correct us.
Panagiotis. That might be Phil.
Panagiotis. No, it's Panagiotis. Yes.
You know that?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Oh, boy. Panagiotis. I was close.
Yes, they these two British creators. They're from London. They started this company in 2021, but they've done stuff before that. This looks like their first collab. The Salvage Union's first collab under this company, but they also Leyline Press does modules for Old School Essentials, which is a game that Pat and I have played. I think Brian,
I
you
didn't
might
know
have played
they
that
did
too. Yeah, so they're associated with that kind of stuff too.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so these guys are seasoned game creators and module makers. But Salvage Union is a mech-based game in the far-flung future, post-apocalyptic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about mechs that are out for salvage in the wastes. And you're either wastelanders, which are kind of just people living out in the wastes, or you're the rich who live in these big habitats, or you're Salvage Union people who live on moving ships, like moving like land vehicles. What was that movie with? There was like that cyberpunk, or steampunk kind of movie that came out it bombed terribly, but they had that big ship.
Where the cities would eat cities.
Yeah.
It
was great.
Engines?
Mortal Engines, I think. Yeah,
I liked it a lot, but that's what these vehicles remind me of. But so you're a scavenger out in the waste trying to scavenge parts. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
And
what is it? It's the wasters are the ones that are trying to live in the wasteland by forming small communities. The Salvage Union is the resistance that try to fight the corpo, is that what they call them? Corpo way of life?
Yeah.
Which is the big cities. I mean, you could live in the big cities, but then you were literally a indentured servant at that point.
Yeah, literally, because they'll make you like pay for your mech that you're piloting and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
even when they're you're in a militia, but they still have to make you pay off your mech. Like it's terrible to work for the corpos.
But that's not all that's in the setting. You also have the Bio Titans.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Are big old monsters, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah, they're
the Meld.
Yeah, Meld are like nano creatures, nanobots.
Yeah.
Arcos, that's what I was trying to say. Arcos are the big cities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they don't know what happened to the world or why it failed. The Meld may or may not be aliens, so there might be some alien shenanigans going on. And same with the Biotitans. Yeah. The Biotitans are mechanical and obviously biological combined, and very kaiju-esque. They're huge and they have cool stats, like Brian said. We'll get to them. What else? The game is really a storytelling game. It's much more.
There's minimal dice rolling.
Yeah, there's only one. Let's see if I can find the chart. There's only one chart to roll on. It's
you roll a d20 and it's like really great success, okay success, and success with
20 is a great success. 1 is a catastrophic failure. 2 to 5 is a fail, and I can't remember the other ones.
Yeah, they have all different levels of success or failure, but it's all about progressing the story too. So it's even if you do a horrible failure, it's not necessarily you dead, but it's more like something bad goes wrong and throws in more complications.
Here it is. So on a 20, it's a nailed it. Like you've overcome the odds. If it's okay, I just read.
Yeah, go ahead.
For sure.
You've overcome the odds and managed an outstanding success. You get an additional bonus for your choice to the action, and includes dealing damage, or pick another bonus effect. 11 to 19 is a success. You're managed to do it, and you deal your regular damage or whatever. 6 to 10, a tough choice. You succeed your action, but at a cost. The mediator, which is kind of their term for a GM or a game master, gives you a tough choice that's some kind of setback attached to whatever you're doing. So you do still kind of make the hit, but you also get hit yourself. 2 to 5 is failure. You failed what you attempted to do. You probably face a setback as well as part of that, and then there's a cascade failure on a 1, which I love as a phrase. Something gone terribly wrong. You suffer severe consequences from mediator's choice. When attacking, you miss the target and suffer a setback on a major level. So it is kind of a neat, refreshing way. Like it's very straightforward with the dice roll when you're doing stuff. So. Yeah. But then there's a whole lot of like choice on what you're doing, what gear you're using to kind of help mitigate things.
There is no stats though. Like usually we're used to D&D or something like that, where stats mitigate it or give pluses, minuses, or anything like that. There's none of that. It's a straight roll. But you don't roll very often. They say like you're only rolling when it's something crazy's happening. Otherwise, you just describe what you're doing, and the mediator decides on how you described it, how well you did, or what you do.
Yeah.
So it's only if you're really attempting something hard like that you start rolling on the charts. But
I don't think there's any plus or minus. You said, right?
No, there's nothing. There's no stats, so there's no pluses or minuses. It's pretty straightforward. It's all D20, and you don't even roll for damage. Everything's set damages.
Well, when you get all D20, it's literally one D20.
Yeah, it's one D20, and you don't roll it very often.
With few exceptions.
You might just need one D20 for the whole table.
Yeah. Well,
because they also say that dice rolls have to be public.
Yeah, you're supposed to roll in the open.
There's no DM screen to roll behind.
Yeah, that's one of those things where people nowadays, they don't like the idea of DMs fudging rolls. And
sorry, you got to advance the story any which way you can.
Yeah, but for this, that's the whole point of this game. It's you advance it no matter what. So you even if you fail, you can still like change it slightly, right? So it is a story. It is much more a storytelling game where it's definitely you're working together, you describing how everything goes, and it's not classic role playing where it's antagonistic in any way. Like you're really working together for a story. We should get into the pilots. Pilots are the people you get to play.
Yeah, there's 6 classes.
Yep. So engineer,
salvager, engineer, hauler, scout, soldier, and hacker. Now I will say that I think it's cool, but there is a class tree in this book which is very confusing to read and follow. And even as I was reading the book on how to become these hybrid pilot classes is what they called, this tree is very hard to read.
I don't know why it's hard to read, because it's not really a tree. Maybe that's why you think it's hard to read.
Well, I hate to call it a tree. I call it a tree because it has paths.
But it's not paths.
You can take.
You don't have to take paths. You can choose. You can choose from all different groups. You just
all right. I'm going to take. So there's a union rep class. So you have to take these 2 brown lines to get to be that union rep, according to the rules.
Well, you have
but it doesn't say where in the class that shows up as a choice to pick.
No, once you max out the core abilities, then you can do other things. Then you can switch to legendary advanced abilities, legendary abilities eventually, or you can go become a hybrid class. But you have to max out the core classes first.
Yeah.
So it's like a multi. It's not really multi-classing. It's more like switching your class halfway through. That's how it's really.
Because like some of these abilities, like folk song, for instance, for union rep, I'm pretty sure I saw that under somebody else's.
Yeah, that's because
as well. So it's like you're if you got the abilities, you're kind of moving along the path.
Yeah, because if you eventually get those abilities, you can go to the second level abilities, like the fabricator and those ones. They have some of the stuff from each different class to choose from. So, and the ranger has from 2 different ones, but it's got a lot of there's a lot of classes and a lot of like multi classes that you eventually can choose from. So
yeah,
it's I'm trying to show the actual thing. Yeah, so it's like soldier, hacker, engineer, hauler, scout, and salvage. Salvager is like the generalist who can kind of do a bunch of everything. And then from that, you can be a cyborg, fabricator, union rep, smuggler, or ranger. So you can eventually get to those ones. So if you're a hacker and an engineer, you can eventually become a fabricator. It's interesting. It's all about progression, I guess. That's the how you progress in the game, because once again, you don't have stats. So that's how you differentiate your characters from choosing all different things.
I'm sorry. I think the abilities are quote unquote the stats.
Yeah, it's instead of it's more skill based instead of stat based.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you get to the mechs. There's quite a few different types of mechs. You can build your own mech too. Like these are just the mechs are just the suggestions.
Yeah. There's chassis.
Yeah.
I think is what it is, and then you can upgrade or modify the chassis.
And determining what your tech level is and how much salvage they cost. That's how you can. I think you get 20 salvage points at the beginning to build your mech. So you can see like the one chassis costs 7, and then you can add modules onto it to make it even better. And each one has its own like the mule is all about cargo.
I was gonna say, is there a list?
There's not so much a list, more just you have to scroll through them all.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was just a list.
Not that I know.
I didn't see it.
Then there's even flying ones. That's kind of cool. They have
the Mazona.
Yeah. And eventually you get to like the huge ones. Like there's like giant ones.
Yeah.
The
Iron Worm, which is a giant like tunneling mech.
Yeah. This scrapper looks like the mech from Aliens.
Yeah, and like the Atlas is like a recovery one that's huge. And I do like the eventually you get to the biggest ones that can actually fight the Biotitans, because those Biotitans, they have some crazy stats. So, but some of the technology, there's teleporting, there's shields, there's some pretty high end technology before the world went to crap. They're pretty technologically advanced. So there's even like the console's like more powered armor, like it's smaller size, and
I think the Hussar, I think, is a pretty neat looking one.
And the carrier is pretty much can hold other mechs, so it's like pretty cool stuff. And I think that's where you really, because you collect scrap, and as you collect scrap, you can upgrade your chassis, or you can find a chassis in the wild to start building on. So I think that's where the game, it's really about exploration, finding stuff, and trying not to get murdered by the giant monsters in the game.
or the other
missions
in the game.
Yeah, of course there's going to be raiders, just like Mad Max or anything. Anytime you get a wasteland, you're going to have people dressing with funny mohawks and a lot of feathers that are going to come at you.
You're going to be commanded by your evil corpo to go raid a wasteland village.
I guess if you wanted to play for the corpos, but that wouldn't make sense. It's called Salvage Union.
I love how so many, like, for one thing, I don't know if you're actually showing them like clips from the book, but like the art in here is just fantastic. And I love how like it's very like blue collar too. Like there's a bunch of like, it's just dudes with like, you know, hats on and overalls, and just
everything's rusty and
it's not steampunk, but it is
it's very scythe, whoever did that artwork.
Well, scythe is more, I think, even more polished.
The style of art, you know.
Painterly, it's painter.
Painting. Yeah.
It gives off a very like, this is a very used world.
Everything's
like,
rusty. Everything's
rusty, and
it's not. You're not getting the Gundam smoothness or the
No, you're definitely not getting that. It's hard lines.
Yeah, it's
weird angles.
Yeah, and it's all half broken down. You're trying to repair everything.
Refrigerators with legs.
A lot of open structures.
And that's a huge part of the game is actually you have a home crawler that's like your base.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is you're trying to get scrap, because every week you have to have a certain amount of scrap to keep that thing going. Otherwise, people start starving. And like the smallest one has like 100 people on it. So these are huge crawling cities or villages. And so you're pretty much the elite of this group, the Salvage Union, going out to get the scrap to keep these people alive. So I like right off the bat, you're not just some schlub. You're like an important person in your crawler. And you can upgrade your crawlers too to bigger and bigger crawlers, and eventually have city-sized crawlers, which is kind of fun. So it is like it's much more of a community. And even with the NPCs and stuff, they want you to roll, like they have specific roles in the crawlers that you roll to have our personalities and stuff. So everybody has a unique personality, which is kind of fun. So it's much more about role playing in that world, I think, than just straight up, going out and fight things, It's definitely a role playing game, not so much a combat game. I think we all want to talk about the Biotitans because they're pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the picture of the Biotitans.
Collage.
A lot. Obviously, there are a lot that are
inspired by.
Inspired by Godzilla or monster movies. There's a Mothra one. There's like a Dune sandworm. But they're all like that with technology grafted onto them. So
the Phantom, where it's like some kind of weird meld scythe monster thing,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like a
scary.
shapeshifter with blades.
Oh, this is the one that can teleport.
And there's
Yeah.
the one that's, I think, is it the Phantom? The Phantom's not completely in our reality, so it's really hard to fight it. And like everything has like, unique things it can do and unique ways you have to fight it, and it's pretty crazy. So, like, it's super tough. You're not fighting these at low levels, that's for sure. You need
No.
pretty good mechs to fight these.
The behemoth is another one that really stood out to me. It's basically like it's like a big walking robe. If you think about it, it's like a big walker, like an AT-AT walker, but like with a weird like mutant creature thing on top of it.
Yeah, these things are crazy. The Tyrant obviously looks like a Godzilla, and it's got tail swat and irradiated
Amphibians.
beam. Yeah, and each one can do these like a bunch of different ones. And for structure points, they have a 215 for the Tyrant. Like there are huge amounts of points you have to do damage, and pretty much a lot of these can kill you one hit. So like it's to go against any of these. I think it's one of those things where you see it in the distance and you run. Like you're not going to be trying to fight these. It's more of a force in nature that eventually you might work your way up to fight one of these things, but.
Yeah, you got the meld, which are the
they're the actual
main bad guys.
Yeah, nano. Are they bad guys? I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
they're nano creatures. Yeah, and they can take over animals.
The alpha male, right?
Yeah, the behemoth is the giant meld where it's just it takes over mechs. Yeah.
I didn't know you get salvage points.
Yeah. Well, the meld you get
with the melds.
You get meld point. You get these meld salvage, which there's a slim chance that it's still alive. So you have every time you have it in your container, it might activate and start taking over things. Just add that little bit more scare thing. But yeah, it seems like you're going to be fighting a lot of meld drones. You're probably going to be fighting a lot of corporation, and anytime you're out, you're probably thinking you're going to end up against raiders and things like that. Helping some wasteland civilization for trade and things. I think that's a lot of the scenarios would be. But yeah, they have cool drones. There's a lot of things, and there's even regular since it's a wasteland. Once again, of course, everything's irradiated things. So there's giant mole bears and
the mole bear,
carrion birds.
Yeah, the mole bear is pretty crazy.
Irradiated scorpions, like one of my favorite.
The chimerapede.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad things out in the world, but the game is a lot in and out of your mech. So some of these things you'll be like, oh, you could fight that out of your mech, but some of these things you're not fighting out of your mech. You have to be in your mech to fight them. So thoughts on said game? Anybody have anything really more to say about the?
It looks pretty tight.
Yeah,
it does. Like to Pat's point, it does. Like the book is very visual, and organized in a book fashion, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, we didn't even mention the cover where it looks like the old what are those old
McGraw-Hill?
Yeah, the car manuals.
That you would buy at
it's got a lot of character in
for your high school car.
Yeah, even in like the everything. There's some of it looks like it's just notes on a like the actual things
on a Post-it.
Yeah. And some of the class stuff, like there'll be, or I think it was items that it would just like things would be scratched out and said no longer available. Like
and pilot equipment, you have things that are like redacted, unsubscribed, deauthorized.
Yeah, like some of it must have been pretty bad stuff that they didn't let you have anymore.
Yeah, so it's got a whole lot of like character.
I will say
it feels like a really rich.
Yeah. One of the things we didn't talk is that you have action points.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about actually how the game works.
Or their ability points. This is the number of ability points you have, and this is what you spend to use your abilities. So this is how many things you can do in I guess in a turn, for a lack of a better term, because I don't know if it's per turn.
Yeah, it's turn based.
Or per encounter.
But it's and some of the stuff takes it'll be like you can only use it once per day or once per session, things like that.
Yeah, so. I think you start with 5, and then some of your if you look at the engineer, if you use the jury rig, it's to fix something. It's two ability points to do.
Yeah. Yeah, everything takes points to actually activate, and time too. Like a lot of it will say like this is a short action or long action.
I don't remember what some of these symbols mean. What is the stopwatch?
I think that's the time element. I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Action type. Turn.
Yeah.
This legend is not very.
I think with it being the PDF, like the.
Oh, it's inside the actual symbol. So T is time. L is long. R is reaction. F is free. P is passive, and D is downtime. So I guess downtime's in between scenarios.
Yeah, that's downtime's like a week, and long is like a day. I think short's like a hour, and then turn is like during the turn. Okay. And reaction is you can obviously do a reaction. And free, everybody knows what free is, and passive is always activated. And that's it. Once again, range, it's as close, medium, long, and far. Like the range bands are pretty, like your weapon will tell you how far you can shoot, so you know. And yeah, so it's pretty clean, I think that would you say.
I do like to shout out to Spinal Tap on the engineer.
Does it go to 11?
This one goes to 11. It's the reactor overcharge.
I like the MechGyver.
Yeah, there's a lot of the skills got funny names, and yeah, there's a lot of in jokes for sure.
And to the kind of to hark back to like what I was saying about character, like even when you're like putting together your pilot or your mech, like they have things like for your pilot, you pick a keepsake that they have. They've got a motto. You put together like an appearance, how they look kind of thing. But the mechs also have that kind of stuff where
they have quirks or
quirks. Yeah. So like, this is literally one from the book, makes a pew pew sound when used.
Yeah.
Like secretly emits radio waves. And then like, call signs and names for your mech and everything. They have some suggestions for you.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it has a lot of character to it, and I really appreciate that.
And I like how I'm not sure if every mech, but some mechs have AIs, and you have to roll for the AI's like personality. So it could be like real annoying. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of personality in the. If you really want to roll up everything too, you could make some really unique characters. You can also choose, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I like for the like they said for the just the NPCs in your like crawler. They have all like the ways how they act and what they're like, and it's kind of really characterful. I think that's even the world in general is very characterful. I could see like you were saying about Scythe, or what's that Swedish game that they made the TV show about, with little kids on bikes who meet. What's that called? Comment below if you know what I'm talking about. My brain doesn't ever work, but
little kids on bikes.
But then there's Sweden. Yeah, the original, it was a role playing game that was from Sweden, but it was a TV show on Amazon, I believe, and it's got a funny name, but very similar art style to
Priest
that too.
I don't know.
Priest 2. It's a cool rider.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. But yeah, AI personalities. I just wanted to shout out: views humans as lost puppies to protect.
I guess I will say, like Mecha Hack, and I'm sure Aether Nexus will be. This is a very easy to read, easy to get underneath your belt kind of RPG game, and it's not bad. It's got a good story behind it. It's got some good character ideas. Really good mech ideas. So I would, if you're interested in looking for a new RPG, I would.
I figured it out. It's Tales from the Loop.
Oh. I would recommend Salvage Union. Yeah,
it's fun. Like, you're looking for like a crunchy RPG where combat's like super serious, this is not the game for you. This
No,
is not,
no. Don't go.
Yeah, this isn't the crunchy mech game. This is a more
pick up
characterful.
Robotech or something else.
Yeah, like there's tons of games for that, but this is much more of a characterful. The world is not, I wouldn't say, super unique. We've seen tons of wastelands.
No, but it's got a good story and it's put together very well. And like I said, like Mecha Hack, and I'm sure Aether Nexus will be. They're very concise, simple rules.
But once again, they're combat oriented. I would find those are much more combat oriented. Where this is the opposite.
Well, yeah, I mean those two, but it's very concise and very easy to read.
Yeah.
Easy to get going. Both those
for sure.
systems.
If you want combat heavy kind of RPG, go with Mecha Hack. But if you want more role playing, like actual getting into the world and playing your character, I think this would be a real. When I first saw it, I think I actually talked about it we had an indie spotlight last year or the year before. I talked about this game in it at the time. It was just previewed, and just the idea of it was so interesting because the idea of just being in a union, like you're just going out to get scrap, and that's the game. Like it's
punching the clock to survive.
Yeah, you're like Brian said, blue collar. You're just trying to do your job. You get obviously things are going to get messed up, and you're getting in situations. Mm-hmm. And sometimes diplomacy might get it out, but sometimes you might have to fight your way out. But yeah, real fun. It's and the mech customization. If you're into customizing mechs, there's a lot of options. There's so many modules. There's so many upgrades. There's like you have to it gets down to you actually have to take locomotion for your mech because technically if you don't have locomotion you can't move. You're a turret. But so you have to choose your locomotion type. You could be flying or you could be tracked or you could be walking. But yeah, real fun in that way. I think if you're used to having to roll stats and stuff, I don't think it's that kind of game, but still, I think it's could be real fun, and I'm sure I'll find a way to play it. I was thinking about doing it like my actual where I live. I live near Niagara Falls, so it kind of be fun to do the post-apocalypse version of this area and play through a campaign in this area. Because imagine what Biotitan lives in Niagara Falls. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So, yeah, I was thinking about
giant
that.
back bacon.
Yeah, the giant goose.
It's called the Gandersaur.
That's right, and they're mean. They're mean when they're little. Imagine when they're big. But
and have mechanical parts.
So we do thank Leyline Press for sending these PDFs for us to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, too, they just today, actually, they announced something called Powered by Salvage that they've just announced. It looks like they're doing open gaming license for Salvage Union, so they're allowing third-party creators to freely develop, distribute, publish tabletop role-playing game material for the Salvage Union world, without the need for royalties. So you can make your own magazine about it. You can make your own modules, as long as you're not using their, just like the open license for D&D. You can't use you can't just print their stuff, but you can make your own stuff for it.
You just have to use their stuff for the base, but you can't take their stuff.
And they have a cool symbol that you can put on your stuff too. The Powered by Salvage.
The system really leans into modules and campaigns. I think would really make this thing.
I could see someone putting out a new book just full of new chassis and modules.
You could definitely do what you said and do a campaign setting. You could do the Niagara area campaign setting. You do the Chicago area campaign. Yeah, so that's cool that they're doing that, and that I hope more companies do that because obviously licensed companies, like I was talking about the Robotech game, you can't do that with that kind of stuff. But when you're making your own game, make it open license. Let the world grow. Like back in the day, we do another podcast, me and Pat, with our buddy Jack, called Dragon's Tome, where we go through Dragon Magazine every issue at a time chronologically. Shameless plug. But back in the early days of Dragon, it was all about just modifying, people writing in, modifying their games, obviously, eventually TSR got a little litigious and stopped that kind of stuff. But early on, that was what role-playing was, right? So it's good to get back to that. New magic items, new modules, campaign settings.
Yeah. And or how many companies started doing trap books or doing doing weapon books or things like that. Like back in the early days of role playing, there was a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's good that you can do it officially. So you can do a Salvage Union module, or like a campaign, or like I say, a book of chassis. Or so hopefully they get a lot of people doing that. I hope the world grows for them and people get into it, because I'd like to see that more of that kind of thing. And if it's successful, maybe other companies will be encouraged to do it also. So
Yeah.
and somebody make a Salvage Union magazine, and I will subscribe. But I don't know. I think that wraps it up.
I say check it out if you're looking for a new RPG mech. Looking for something a little bit different, more story-driven, storyteller style, I guess. Check out Salvage Union.
And they definitely have good bundles on right now. So if anybody wants you can go to their website. We'll have it in the show notes. They're doing like a bundle with a bunch of books and dice, and like the bunch of character sheets and cheat sheets and things like that, which is kind of fun. So yeah, and I think that's it about Salvage Union. Please check her out.
Yeah.
And we'll be back for the ExFil. Sound good?
Yes.
Let's exfil out of here.
Well, that was an episode, wasn't it, boys?
It was.
It was.
We're in the ExFil. Too bad we didn't do any
I guess
hobby.
before we go, would you be a Wastelander,
No.
a Nomad, or a Corpo?
You're not. You're a Salvage Union person. That's how you play the game, Pat. Those aren't your choices.
No, you can be any one of those people.
No, you can't.
Sure you can.
No, you live in a crawler. You're a Salvage Union person.
You can be whoever you want to be.
I'm gonna be a Wastelander.
Role playing.
Then you don't get a mech.
Roleplay.
You just your whole game is this you scrounging for carrots.
You could be the one pilot in your wasteland town.
And then we roll in there and just steal all your crap.
Well, then
No, you're scrapped.
Then the other guys in the party be rolling around in cars with the machine guns on the back.
Technicals, yeah. I guess you can do whatever you want in your campaign, Pat, but you're not doing that in my campaign.
No. The Niagara campaign is
That's right.
salvagers only.
Just crawlers upon crawlers.
That's right. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Go to our Facebook group. That's where most of the action happens. Follow us on Twitter, I guess. Or, sorry, X. Can't call it Twitter anymore.
Really?
Keep on Twitter.
Who's going to stop us?
It is still twitter.com, I'm pretty sure. It's not x.com.
Yes,
Go to x.com. You might get some crazy shit.
Ooh, watch out for that. I made that mistake at work once. Don't do that.
I think he might actually own x.com.
That gets a call from HR.
It's blocked, yeah. Until next, I don't know if we ever introduced ourselves, I'm Rob.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Chopper.
We'll be back.
Leaving you soon.
We'll be back next month. I'm sure we'll be talking mostly about Adepticon, because that's going to be hot coming up. So, and the Warpath Kickstarter will be live next time, so I'm sure we'll do a preview of that too. Because everybody wants little teeny mechs. About that big, just little guys.
Already.
Okay, enough of this. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter at @MArmorRadio. Join us on the first of every month for more Mecha discussion.
Is it more cowbell?
No, that's a fever. I got a fever.
Have you ever diagnosed somebody with that?
With a fever?
With more
It's like,
fever from more
got
cowbell.
a fever. You know what you need.
Unfortunately,
Kidding.
a fever is a symptom, not a diagnosis.
But only if it's for cowbell, though.
But did you determine that a cowbell was the cure?
I have used that when they said, the baby's got a fever. And I went, the only prescription is more cowbell. And then everyone looked at me and I go, you have got to be kidding me.
They all were like, this is not funny, Pat. It's a serious situation.
This is serious.
And everyone's like, no, I don't think I've seen it. I go, oh my God.
You should have one with you and the video clip on cue.
I should have it on my phone so I can see. How have you not known this? This thing has been around
I mean, just
since the internet. It was one of the first things I watched on the internet.
Are we gonna do a segment now?
Yes.